In the Middle East, should we be a stronger friend of Israel or more of a moderator between two sides? And let me go back to Dan Hivasella because I had him start off with Dan.
That's all right.
Sorry about that.
Israel is a shining light in the Middle East. It is the only capitalist democracy that has been there for the last 50 years. Now, hopefully Iraq will become a capitalist democracy as well. Not quite there yet. But we need to be supportive of Israel. And I'll give you the three tenets of the policy I would pursue towards it. First is we need to back Israel in the peace process, not pretend that we can go in and mediate between two people who have been trying to kill each other for centuries. Instead, we need to back our ally in the peace process as they come to terms with the moderates like Fatah in actually getting a peace agreement. Second is we should not be giving aid to the enemies of Israel. Jim Himes voted for $900 million to Hamas in the stimulus package. He is not only, as Rob Russo said earlier, he's not only not helping our economy, he's aiding the enemies of our allies. And third is we cannot allow Iran to get nuclear capability. That not only threatens Israel, it threatens us. We should be following the path that George H.W. Bush actually did with Saddam Hussein, is gradually ramping up. Start off with diplomacy, then move to economic sanctions, and if Iran doesn't stop, move to airstrikes. We need to make sure that terrorist nations do not have nuclear capabilities to threaten our allies or us.
Thank you. Next will be Rob Merkel.
Thank you. Well, I think one thing we have to keep in mind is we are at war, and we're at war with terrorists. And Israel is our strongest ally in the Middle East. As such, I think we should support them in their fight against extremist Islamism, including Iran and Palestine, and where we can, facilitate a peace process, keeping in mind who our friends are. I think we should continue to support them in their economic and military initiatives, again, backing their play against Iran, and if necessary, initiating strikes ourselves, keeping in mind these are not friendly people. They do not want to negotiate. They don't understand diplomacy as we see it. Ahmadinejad is basically laughing at the United States, and has been for 8 years. And what really irritates me is it took this administration almost 3 weeks to issue any kind of statement against the riots and the killing of innocent civilians in Tehran over these sham elections. Whereas within 24 hours, they attacked Honduras, who was legitimately trying to protect their constitution and their democracy from another dictator. We've got a long way to go in the Middle East. This is a conflict that's been brewing for thousands of years. It's not going to be an easy solution. But with patience, with perseverance, and the will to succeed, we can get it done.
Thank you. Next will be Will Gregory.
Now, my background is in foreign relations. This is a very, very complex situation. Clearly, we support Israel. The United States does, it has in the past, and I believe we need to continue to do so. But I think that we need to be careful in the manner in which we do it. I don't think that we can brazenly go in there and say, no matter what, we're going to support one side and we don't care what the implications are to anybody else. We need to have a lot of the people in the region also playing a more vocal role. I think that visibly, on the surface, we need to take a step back, provide support materially through resources. We need to try to use our political capital on the world stage to facilitate interactions between the two sides. And to that effect, I firmly believe that we can reach a solution on this. I do believe that the treaties that have been developed and such as the roadmap for peace, I think that we need to actively promote that. And I think that we are in the process of doing that. We need to redouble our efforts. We need to start really making the Palestine-Israel situation a top priority for this administration, which they haven't been doing. That is the key to the Middle East. So I do fully support Israel, and I fully support the roadmap for peace.
Thank you. Next will be Rob Russo.
I believe we should support any country that acts responsibly, is led by a free people, and treats its neighbors in a respectful manner. And in the Middle East, that's Israel. And let's remember, the same people that want to destroy Israel want to destroy us. Israel is very much a common ally in a war that we are deep in at the moment. We always have to keep that in mind. So I will support Israel 100%.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Next will be Rick Torres.
We're not at war with terrorists. We're at war with Islamic extremists. These are people that don't like us sitting in this room, assembled the way we are, with women sitting without their headdresses on. These are people that are fundamentally different than us, and they're different than us for religious reasons. They're never going to get it that our liberties make any sense to them. So America is just an impossible existence. We are infidels, and we must be destroyed because we are the way we are. I'm not including all Muslims, just the Islamic extremists. What I would like to say to you about Israel is that Israel has been our friend. However, we haven't treated Israel as a friend. Because if we had, we would have let Israel defend itself the way Israel could. And what Israel could have done a long time ago is win the war. But we haven't let them fight. Negotiation and negotiating with Islamists is almost ludicrous. The only thing they understand is strength and power. And if we go in thinking that we can just sit them down on a table and they're going to come to the right conclusion, we're sadly mistaken. The only thing that's going to make sense is winning the war. And not winning it in a slow way, winning it in a big way. The same thing is going on in Iran right now. If we allow Iran to arm up, shame on us, shame on the civilizations of the world if we allow this country to arm up, because they will use those weapons without shame and without hesitation, and we must stop them immediately if we can.
Thank you.